That's Nick.
And that's Joseph. And today we're here to talk about The Contractor, which is being released courtesy of Paramount Pictures and STX Films April 1st, 2022. And it's not a joke. April Fool's Day.
Oh, what's happening?
It is the fourth feature directed by Tarik Saleh.
Do we know Tarik's other works?
Yes, his previous film won the top prize in the World Dramatic section of Sundance in 2017, the Nile Hilton Incident, where Theis played the lead and who also is the scientist in this film, which I just watched this morning because I missed that at that festival. But yeah, it is quite good. He also directed a couple Leaky Lee music videos, including a favorite of mine, I Follow Rivers.
Oh, that's a good song. Okay, the basic story. Chris Pine
is a U.S. Special Forces sergeant.
So he's in the military doing like special ops stuff, and we see that he's disabled. He's badly injured his knee and he's in rehab, but he's very dedicated to serving his country. So he is injecting himself with like illegal drugs, like performance enhancing drugs, so that he can continue to do his job. And he's also under the impression that like his like commander is not doing drug tests. But then all of a sudden, like very early on, we see he has a new commander and this person is doing drug tests. And he calls his ass in like, listen, your report came back, you're fucking dirty. You are being honorably discharged without a pension and without health care. So it's like, damn. In the background, we also see that he's already having like financial problems at home. Like bill collectors are calling and now he's out of work. So he's pretty desperate. So he goes to an old like war buddy played by Ben Foster.
Yep, Mike.
Basically asking for help. And Ben says, well, there's this guy who's like special black ops, like contracting work through the whatever that's like undercover, played by Kiefer Sutherland. And if you're interested, I can hook you up with him. It's good money. Chris says yes.
You get a $50K deposit.
You're going to get a $50K advance, so let's go. So the job is they're going to Berlin, and he's told, Chris Pine, that they're going to stop some entity that's trying to spread some new like H1N1 virus. This was filmed before COVID. Mm-hmm. They go to Berlin, complete the mission. It kind of is a catastrophe because they try to escape and everyone gets messed up. But we find out that that mission was not to stop this virus. They stopped the person who was creating the vaccine for the virus. So it's nefarious, right? But in the process, both Ben and Chris get hurt, and Ben leaves Chris.
Says I'll come back.
He says, I'll come back for you, but he never does. So Chris has to find his way back to the United States. And when he gets back, he sees that Ben is like chilling at home, playing with his kids, confronts him and realizes that he knew that they were up to some shady shit.
They try to assassinate him in Berlin as well.
Kiefer Sutherland's team, yeah. I don't think Ben Foster was like, he's not the mastermind, but he knew. Okay, so then Chris Pine is like, well, the only way this is going to be settled is if you help me go kill Kiefer. And they do. But in the process, Ben Foster dies. The end.
I think notably this is the third time Ben Foster and Chris Pine have starred in a film together. They were in The Finest Hours in 2016 and Hell or High Water, which I think is an excellent film.
I really liked Hell or High Water, and I really liked Jeff Bridges.
In that film, yes, excellent.
And he's really good in that.
And again, this Chris Pine's got 2 films coming out this April that he's executive produced, and this very much feels like something that was meant to be a star vehicle for him. The initial title was Violence of Action.
I don't like that title.
I don't like that title either.
But The Contractor feels generic too.
Yes. What was that? It was the Benedict Cumberbatch movie. Cumberbatch, The Courier.
Oh,
The Contractor, The Courier. Like, come on, we are more inventive than that.
What do I think? I like Chris Pine. I think he makes a good, like, sort of like off-center leading man because he is very handsome, but it's not. But I get the sense like it seems like he really cares about the craft of acting.
Yeah, especially of the 4 Chris's, which he gets lumped in.
So I enjoyed him in this film. I think he did a really good job with the material, but the overall story felt a little weak to me. Like maybe they didn't have the resources to do what they really wanted to do. It feels a little thin.
Well, I think that's what the writing of the narrative is. Feels a little bit derivative, very familiar. I mean, it's better than something like Extraction, starring Chris Hemsworth, which I thought was incredibly dull. Initially, I was excited to see this because it has a really great supporting cast. There's a German actress I love, Nina Haas. Nothing to do. Another actor, a French, Amira Casar plays the wife of Ferris, and she gets a couple more emotional scenes, but really has nothing to do. She plays the mother in Call Me by Your Name. She's been around in a ton of stuff.
She's Timothée Chalamet's mom?
Yeah.
I still haven't seen that movie.
She's in a Natalie Portman film I quite like called Planetarium, which didn't get great reviews, and a really interesting Catherine Breillat film called Anatomy of Hell back in 2004. See a lot
Go through your notes.
Eddie Marsan, of course, he plays the one that the man that comes and picks him up and gets shot in the head. I felt like he had
that character. It seemed like long in the tooth for what amounted to nothing.
Again, like Fares as the scientist, he gets killed very early on, and then Gillian Jacobs as the wife of Chris Pine, also nothing to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just feels like all these moving parts, and all of them were a little bit dull, except for Chris Pine. And even some of the dialogue's not bad either. It's much easier to kill, but it's harder to survive, which I think is in the preview as well.
That'd be a good tagline.
That'd be the good tagline, but
we see that Chris Pine's character is he's very devoted to serving his country and was sort of bred to do this because we see as a young child, like 8 or 9, maybe even younger, like 7 or 8, his dad, who also did a similar job, takes him to go get like an American flag tattoo, like matching tattoos.
Yeah, there's some trauma and dysfunction that they give for a backstory for him, but again,
I don't think it's very elegant.
It's not elegant, and it doesn't really anchor him well, especially because nobody else gets kind of any of the same attention.
I also didn't need that because I think for me as someone who's not adjacent to the armed forces, like I don't have family members or myself, it's like with doctors and nurses, how we assume like people who take those jobs do it because they want to help people. I assume people in the military, like in movies, like we already assume that these people have pride in serving their country. So I felt like doing that extra thing was not necessary to show why his character would care.
Yeah. I agree. It was lensed by Pierre Aïm, if I'm saying that right, who shot Matthew Kasowitz's film Hate, Line, as well as May Wen's Police and the Nile Hilton Incident. Having watched Nile Hilton, I think that's a much better film, which is about this murder of a singer in Cairo, and it's tied into the onset of the revolution in 2011. And I think Fares gives a really great performance. But you can see Tarik Saleh is somebody that's interested in these corrupt systems and kind of how they grind people down to nothing. Because the same things happens to almost all the characters in that. And really here, it's not really a happy ending per se.
I think there's a nice sequence of when the team first gets to Berlin and infiltrates this laboratory, and then they're trying to escape. Like there's a shootout, and then we have Chris Pine in the sewer system trying to escape, and then heading back to the United States. I think that like 20-minute section was well done.
Sure.
And I felt tension.
Yeah.
But once they get back to the U.S. and they're going to go kill Kiefer, that scene happens so fast.
It feels.
They roll up to his little ranch-style house, and then there's an immediate shootout, and Ben gets killed really quickly, and then Chris just rolls up into Kiefer's house and shoots his ass in the head, and that's like or wherever, and kills him, and that's it.
Yeah.
So it felt kind of anticlimactic.
Yeah, I agree. It's just like there's a little bit of spice missing somewhere.
What would you give this film?
I think 2.5 is fair.
I was gonna say 2 3/4.
Okay.
Because it's okay.
If you had little gold stars, you'd have to cut off one of the.
I would cut one of the stars off of the third one.
One of the arms.
Yes.
Are those called arms on the star? What are those called?
Well, because it's like 5-sided.
Sided? You cut off a side of the star?
Like the head, the arms, and the legs.
Like a star?
I'd cut off an arm.
Okay, so starfish.
Starfish. But isn't a starfish the same shape as a star?
I mean, it's a star. Do they all have 5? I don't know.
Listen to our podcast. Bye.